how'd you find Nancy Hills for the lead role in the film?
Well, Scarlett Johansson was unavailable. And we couldn't get Margot Robbie. So no, well, you know, as a lot of people know, Nancy has been singing on the club scene around Albuquerque, and is, you know, kind of well known in that. And so I having known Nancy as an artist, I know that she takes her art and her work very seriously. So I wanted to get just someone that I knew I could depend on, that I knew that could bring it, because, you know, when you see in the movie, that's kind of a weird role. I mean, that was like not an easy that was like not an easy role that Mariah Carey went through a lot of kind of little incantations and stuff before, you know, we nailed the character. Like, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, she's complex.
So I just knew Nancy would be able to. I just knew Nancy would be able to deliver, because I had a lot of faith in her because of her singing and her performance and stuff like that, and I knew she would. I got some bangles there. I just knew she'd be able to bring it. You know, I knew she'd be able to bring it, and like I said, Scarlett Johansson wasn't returning my calls.
That hag.
So I had to, yeah. But I mean, look at Nancy, man. Is this the most badass female, like, fucking ever?
Aww, dude.
She was scared. She thought the movie was gonna suck.
Nah, no. I just stayed neutral. You know me. Neutral. I stay neutral.
Okay, so how did you prepare for this role?
I asked you as many questions as I could.
Right.
I took as many mental notes as I could.
Right.
Yeah, I just got the information that you gave me and just tried to not get in my head and just get out of myself and give you the character that you had in your head as best as I could, and just, you know, listen to your direction as best I could.
It's funny because
she's a trippy character. She's very complex, a lot of layers. I still don't even know that much about Mariah Carey. I'm still kind of learning. So, but he's told me a little bit about her.
That's freaking wild, man.
She's got some.
You know, some
secrets.
The funny thing is, I kind of envisioned Mariah Carey a little bit different than how she ended up being. But when I seen how she ended up being, I was like, oh my God, that's fucking perfect, man. You know?
Hopefully we'll see more of her. Here's hoping.
How does acting in a movie compare to, like, singing live in a club?
The hours, for starters.
What do you mean?
Well, we had to be on set at 6 a.m., which means to get up about 5, which is normally my bedtime. Most people on Facebook can tell you. Like 5 a.m. I put a post up. So the hours. But actually, I used to do a little bit of theater and acting before music. So I just hadn't done it in a while because at that time there was no money in it. So, not that there's still a lot of money now, but anyway. So, so I actually do have a little bit of experience doing it. It's just been a while, and I missed it. So he asked me at a good time where it was kind of interesting to do something different and a change.
Tell us about the song.
The song. This is a song that I wrote some years ago that I played for different people. Everybody agreed that it was a pretty cool song, and I never knew quite what to do with it. And so it just, I didn't have, you know, a lot of people like, you know, ready to like sign me with RCA Records, or I had no idea even how to do all that. Anyway, it was a song that I had, and it was one that he had actually heard, and it was fit really well, I think, with the character and with the movie and with the scene that you worked that really, you worked that in really well with the scene. So,
and you know what?
So it's cool.
what I thought.
But it's a song that I wrote, and along with Rick Morrow, who played guitar on it, and then so yeah.
You know what? You know what I think was so cool about Nancy doing the song was that you don't see Angelina Jolie singing her theme songs. You don't see Margot Robbie singing her theme songs. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that is pretty cool.
So yeah, so that's like first time for everything.
Yeah, no, that was. I'm actually really happy about that.
Oh man, I thought that song in that movie was freaking awesome, dude.
So Spike, talk about the look and the feel of the movie.
Well, it's got a pretty distinctive look. I think it looks and it feels like a Black Widow. Don't you think? That's what this movie looks like. It looks like a Black Widow, and hopefully it feels like one too. But it's really there's a what I really like about the movie is the contrast. How it starts out and you think it's like kind of one thing, and then as soon as Nancy's character comes in, it's like boom, total change of direction. So that was part of the vibe. We wanted like a real contrast in there.
So tell me, what's next?
We're developing, me in conjunction with Hollywood Entertainment, we're developing a full-length version of Get Tony Scarboni, like a feature-length version. That one would probably be called Barry Mariah Carey. And we're developing that script and that project like right now.
So Barry, like
Barry Mariah Carey, but Mariah Carey can't be buried. You bury her all you want, it's not going to do any good.
what were some of the challenges you faced making this film?
It's really cool because the process was actually fairly easy. You know, like I was saying when I introduced the movie, everyone pretty much who I talked to or read the script or anything was like excited about it and wanted to do it. So it came together pretty freaking easily, which is not always the case when you're doing independent, you know, low budget films. A lot of times it's hard to get everyone on the same page. And with this, the funny thing was that just right from the get-go, it was like, wow, everyone wants the same thing, you know, everybody gets what I'm trying to do here, you know.
Awesome. I think that came out good.
So how did you, you've got a pretty amazing set of skills there.
Thank you.
How did you develop them? Like, how long have you been doing this?
I've been doing it, let's see, I got my minor in photography in college. So I started studying photography in college. And I basically stayed with still photography for 20 years. And there was a period of 10 years where I was working as a travel guide, an international travel guide.
Right, I remember you told me that.
Yeah, and so I was taking photos as I was traveling around, and I got a few things published here and there, and in this period of time, then I also started. I was a musician, singer-songwriter, kind of acoustic music, and so I was learning audio. I was learning how to record audio, the mix, master, all that kind of stuff. So as I was traveling, I was playing music also. So I kind of was doing this photography music thing as I was traveling around. And when I was ready to get off the road back in 2008, I'd heard that there was this film industry thing going on in New Mexico. So I said, okay, let's go back and check it out. That's my hometown, so let me go back and check it out. And I figured I could use my audio expertise as well as my photography expertise and do that. So so I came back here and I took a course on cinematography, on how to make the changeover from photography to cinematography, and just started using both skills. Like if anyone needed an audio technician, I would work on their sets on doing audio. If somebody needed a cameraman, if they needed behind the scenes, they needed whatever it was, I just started using both those skills. And then in 2009 or 10, and I did a little acting. I actually I took a couple acting classes and had a really hard time memorizing.
Oh, wow.
kidding.
scripts. So, but I always found myself, like when we were shooting scenes or whatever, that the cameraman didn't know as much as I did, and I was always telling them how to fix the camera and how to do the camera. And these were like just for class and stuff like that, but the cameraman didn't know what he's doing. And I just found that I like being behind the camera more than I like being in front of the camera.
What a trip.
So that's when I started my production company, Timbo Joe Productions, back in 2009. And yeah, just anything with anything in production through post-production. Cinematography, audio, editing, a little bit of VFX and special effects too. So yeah, that's how I got to be where I am today, working with Spike Michaels.
Yeah, lucky you. So how the kid Tony Scarboni has a pretty distinctive look.
Yeah.
How would you describe the look of the movie?
Well, the official term that I use is a chiaroscuro, which is what it's a film school.
Chiaroscuro?
Chiaroscuro.
Oh, wow.
Chiara is Italian for clear or light, and scuro is for dark or obstructed.
Oh, wow.
And so it's basically black and white. It's a black and white form. And when I first read the script, I was like we just started chatting about it, and
right.
And when I was reading it, I saw black and white. It's like for some reason it just was in. As I was reading it, I was like, this is black and white to me. And and I started asking you, what style do you want to do this in? And we started discussing some styles, and I said, what about black and white? And you just seemed to friggin' love that. You jumped right all over it, and we went and checked out what was the.
I remember we used like Ed Wood as a reference point.
Ed Wood as a reference point to get that really deep black and white, film noir type of feel. Yeah, because the movie has the black and white in the movie is like it's harsh. Mm-hmm. It's a harsh black and white. Yeah, there's not a lot of gray area. Right. Yeah, and that's the chiaroscuro kind of genre. It's more of that heavy contrast. Deep blacks, really white whites.
Won some awards in New Mexico?
Yeah, I have. Nothing at Sundance or anything like that yet, but we're building up and trying to get there. But yeah, I've through the years, we just shot our first. I just shot my first feature film a couple of years ago, and it's doing the festival circuit right now. And what is that? It's called A Soldier's Passage. Okay, right. Yeah, I know of that. Written by a local screenwriter here in town, and that was a full-length feature that you had. A full-length feature, yeah. And that's starting to go through the festival circuit, but we've gotten some awards on cinematography and writing and acting on that. And most of what I've done, other than that, is shorts. And I've won in various festivals across the nation. I've won a couple of cinematography awards and some editing awards, and
We're talking first place, yeah.
Yeah, once or twice, sure.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. I'll toot your horn for you.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Beat.
Toot.
So that's about all I got.
Okay. All right. No, but it was fun, man. It's fun working with you, Red.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Awesome.
This guy's, we keep it rolling. This guy's got a crazy mind. Just got to say, he's already discussed a few crazy ideas. He's already talked about some of his other ideas to me, and they're awesome. Yeah. He's got a really cool mind that works with screenplays really well. That's good, because you and me hit it off pretty good. Yeah. The way we work. Yeah, definitely. Our sensibilities and stuff like that. Yeah. So I look forward to doing more. Yeah, me too. We're gonna have some fun. Woo! So I guess cool. We're ready.
What's up, Spike?
Okay, so William Pauley, you play Vicky Glocks in the movie.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that character. What's the deal with Vicky Glocks?
Well, let's see. Vicky Glocks is it's like a mob enforcer for Tony Scarboni, but apparently he was put into that, like, well, it's not put into, but he's kind of like a spy in a sense. Right? He's kind of keeping track of Scarboni's gang because they're kind of they're getting a little too powerful and stuff. But Vicky Glocks himself, he's just he's a guy who's looking to just move up, and he'll do it any way he can, you know.
like what you said just a minute ago about like how he's kind of a spy and he's
Yeah.
to watch on the crew. That kind of hints at the larger story.
Yeah, the bigger
of the
scheme.
movie that we've talked about, like
Right.
kind of the backstory
Right,
and,
right.
and you know, like in the future story.
Right.
What's the deal with that?
Well, you know, you would probably be able to tell that story better, but you know, Vicky Glocks he's just a badass dude, bro. You know, we can't really give away the story because that's going to be the next full feature. So.
Right. Give
right,
it away.
Right. Yeah. You want to know how I prepared for that role?
How actually did you prepare for that role?
Strippers and whiskey, dude.
Probably Vicky
Yeah.
Glocks' lifestyle.
Yeah,
How did Vicky Glocks lose his? Why does he have that big scar on his face, and why is one of his eyes all whited out?
You know, I've been going to a neurologist to find out, and still haven't found that out. I think the scar is it was caused by a piece of flying bacon, dude. Yeah, one morning after a stripper and whiskey escapade.
Like your first scar that we had in the movie.
Yeah.
Remember, like the first scar.
Yeah,
that Vicky
bacon
had?
face. Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
So would you recommend messing around with Vicky Glocks?
Nah, bro, wouldn't do it. He's a badass. He loves his gun.
Loves his gun. He loves to fucking kill people.
He loves to kill people. Right? Did I mention strippers and whiskey yet?
He lives a lifestyle of non-stop strippers and whiskey.
Exactly, dude. And maybe an occasional, you know, what do you call that?
Okay, and so like, tell me a little bit about. I saw your production company.
Hollywood Entertainment.
Tell me a little bit about Hollywood Entertainment.
Well,
what's going on
you know
with
what? I've had that thing going since the early 90s. You know, it used to be maybe booking bands. Some other people here have done that before, you know. I did some tattoo shows, conventions kind of thing in the 90s. And just, you know, recently in the last few years, after meeting this crazy dude with crazy hair, fucking got me into movies, dude, you know. And
Who was the crazy dude?
this
with crazy
Spike
hair?
Michaels, dude. Yeah, dude, crazy guy. So I think the natural progression of what I was doing is to just take it into film.
What do you think about the fact that so many people that worked on this movie are musicians? Like I used to be a musician.
Right.
You're a musician. Nancy's a musician.
Right.
Mike Garcia.
Right. The person that's filming this interview right now.
Fuck.
Donnie Frank.
Donnie
Yeah.
Frank, drummer extraordinaire.
I think.
Why do you think this movie? Why do you think there's like so many, like music people?
I think because music people are creative. I mean,
Exactly.
anytime, like just for instance, raising my son, you hear about kids who are involved in music and arts and entertainment.
Right.
They have a different like skill set, a different like mentality.
Right.
Actually, pretty successful from what I hear.
Right.
So I think it's just a natural progression for someone who is involved in entertainment, musically probably, to go into film. I think it's an easier transition than just coming in from just say you're being an engineer or something. You know?
I got this belief that all musicians can be good actors, but not all actors can be good musicians.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Because it's like when I look at like Mike Garcia.
Yeah.
You know, who plays Mikey Spice.
Yeah. Right.
Who you fucking kill.
Yeah.
He's never acted in his
Right,
life.
right.
He's never been on a set.
Sure.
Never been to an acting class, and
Aside from an occasional music video.
and the reason that I want, his band has
Yeah,
done some videos and
yeah.
stuff. But the reason why I thought he would be good because he looked the part.
Yeah.
But people were like, well, he's never done any acting, and I was like, yeah, but he's been playing live in metal bands
Right.
for
So you know
years,
what?
man. So
I never did any real acting before this little short film. Maybe a little piece in a web series. But I think, I'm not all up on all the acting techniques and any of that stuff. What I found easy was to just put the character into your head and just become the character. I'm sure that's what they tell you in acting class, right? But that seems to have been the simplest way for me to do that. Plus, you gave me the opportunity to help write his backstory
Right,
So
right,
that
right.
gave me a little more insight into how he's going to be, you know? And that was cool. I appreciate that.
Yeah, because like you did like come up with some of the backstory. And
Yeah.
stuff, so you feel that like fleshed out your character.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, big time.
So you know, another thing that we've been talking about is this next the full the full feature, and I got this great scene already written out for Vicky Glocks and Mariah Carey. They have this torrid love affair, Dave, and there's like some serious sexual scenes in there.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'll try and make that happen.
Yeah. Oh,
It's hot.
it's gonna happen.
Okay, so I guess so cool.
On that note,
On that note,
hey, how you doing?
okay, so we're here with Michael Fisher. You play Tailpipe Sal in the movie. Tell us a little bit about that character.
Didn't have too much time to really figure out too much the character was besides what the direction you had given me. I guess honestly,
Right.
I tried to put out there what I believed you wanted to see in your character.
Well, what's going on with Tailpipe Sal's character and the rest of his gang? What's the deal?
Well, the issue is ultimately I have a problem with moving forward into white collar crime,
Right.
which obviously my boss Scarboni doesn't.
Right, great.
And we have a disagreement, which leads to some things happening
some
and
bloodshed.
some conversation, and the
Okay,
rest
so
is-
you're an actor around Albuquerque. I know you've done. You did. What was it? Manhattan. You did.
season 2, yeah.
Bloody Betty. You did. Ballad of Buster Scruggs for Coen Brothers. You're probably a lot of people know you as Galaga Guy from Marvel. Could you tell us a little bit about that? Who's Galaga Guy?
Kind of fell into it. It was basically the first thing I've really ever done in film. Just got out of the army. Kind of liked the work, liked the process of film, and decided.
And so what's Galaga Guy? If somebody doesn't know who Galaga Guy is, what is that?
Essentially, I am a SHIELD special agent who is assigned to security, but instead, Iron Man, aka Tony Stark, aka Robert Downey Jr., decides to catch me while
Calls you out.
That man is playing Galaga.
calls me out
Calls
while
you out.
playing the game.
In front of everybody. Man, that's great. So you were on the set, and Robert Downey Jr. is in that scene. He's the one who like points you out and stuff.
Thought we wouldn't notice, but we did.
Was that just must have been cool as all get out, man.
For not being very used to that situation, yeah, to definitely see somebody of that caliber and actually be in a scene that quick in the beginning of my career with this definitely was a trip.
And I do believe just recently you worked on a new show being filmed in Albuquerque called Deputy. How was that?
That was pretty good. Just it's pretty simple. I'm one of the deputies, and have a dialogue sequence with the main character, the deputy. I like the way the film is shot, though. It seems kind of cool. It gives me a Longmire type feel to it.
Oh yeah.
But great sets, great people.
Cool, man.
Yeah, it worked
Cool.
out. I liked
Cool.
it. Liked it.
So what would you want to do? What do you see yourself doing in the future as far as the film business?
Farther, more complicated roles. Obviously, would be the focus of my direction at this point.
Right on.
Yeah.
Develop as an artist. Okay, cool. Michael Fisher from Get Tony Scarboni plays Tailpipe Sal, and he's also pretty well known for being Galaga Guy. Thanks for being here.